Can you hear me? Okay, yeah. Okay, I didn't. OBS didn't update, but my PC had an update, so that probably reset all my like mic settings and all that stuff. But no, all I was saying is like I saw that you saw my messages on Telegram. So I saw that you saw my messages, so I kind of figured you were just like tired or like you said woke up from a nap or just didn't feel up to replying, which is totally cool. Okay, is my audio okay? Game sounds okay? Whoops, souping me, Mario. Okay, because there are actually only... We don't really have a lot of stars left. We got like 23. I'll get awesome. Wait, not here. Because I guess Super Mario 64 spoilers, there are 15 main courses in this game. And Tiny Huge Island is number 13. I mean, a part of me kind of wanted to try to finish Mario 64 today, but I don't know if I have the energy for that. Huge tiny island though. Yeah, tiny island and huge island. Finally, Sonic Heroes. Hi Cole, how are you doing? You silly. This is Sonic Rush Adventure for the Nintendo DS. Rematch with Koopa the Quick. I'm a stomping your goomb. If you hit the big ones with a butt stomp, you'll actually get a blue coin instead of a regular coin. But yeah, Cole, we're back on that Mario 64 guy, and we only have 23 stars left in the whole game, and then we can go stick it to Bowser. Ow! Rude. Ow! Why is everybody trying to hurt me? I thought this was Drawn to Life SpongeBob edition. That you just like gave me a weird flashback reminding me that the Drawn to Life games exist. Traumatizing an entire generation of Zoomers. Y'all gonna make me up in here. Hey, my wump! God fucking damn it. I need to punch that flying Shy Guy. Come on. Crap, I kicked him instead. Okay, we're restarting the game. Yeah, I hear you, Locky, too. You know, I am very curious because there's never been any confirmed thing where Lakiitu's English name comes from. Because he's not called Lakitu in Japanese, or Lakitu or Lakitu. I don't even know if there's been an official pronunciation. But in Japanese, he's called Jugemu, which is a reference to like kind of an old Japanese little folktale fairy tale thing where like a family's not sure what to name their newborn son, and then everyone in the village gives different name suggestions, and they end up naming the child every single one of the names. And Jugemu is like the first two names in there. My mom did want to make chocolate mint cookies, mentioned sometime tonight, not sure, other than after dinner, which was a half hour ago. May have to dip at some point. That's cool, just let me know. I always love having you here, but you are not beholden to my streams. I'll only cry a little bit while you're gone. Time to get blown! Ow. Gotta dip cookies. Yeah, and milk. The milk in my Cocoa Puffs. Milky, milky cocoa. Ow! Goomed to the face. There's also a non-zero chance she forgets and falls asleep, but we'll see. Again, like I've said before, Maddie, I always forget that there are, like, neurodivergent normies. So, like, they have to deal with the pitfalls of being neurodivergent without acknowledging that they are and actually trying to do anything about it. I guess normies isn't exactly the right word. I use it jokingly, but I feel like it is kind of reductive to more mainstream interests, which are just as valid as being obsessed with, you know, fucking, I don't know, Alundra 2 for the Sony PlayStation. But, it's more like, I guess I forget people who are not exactly great understanding or caring people can also be neurodivergent. Because I am so tunnel visioned on, you know, being around so many wonderful people whose neurons do not neuron the way they always want them to, that I kind of assume that's the standard when it really isn't. Anybody can be anything. Normie divergent. Hi, Chrono. How are you doing today? Good morning, Chrono, on this lovely Thursday evening. The usual thing of me being a goofy goober, freaking out about video games that are too old to be on their parents' insurance, or deconstructing the current socio-political climate that we live in. One of those. There's Koopa the Quick, the thing we're actually supposed to be doing, but now I'm so fixated on getting the 100 coin star, I kind of want to work on that. How are you doing on this lovely, lovely day? Well, lovely with an asterisk. It's been like 95 degrees. So, I have been quite toasty. Burnt mouse. Thankfully, it looks like it's going to cool back down to the 80s, at least for me, later this week. But today and tomorrow are going to be roasty toasty. Oh, wait, shit, I don't need that. Not enjoying the summer. No, summer, I am ready for summer to be over. $10 more coins. Wait, shit. I think there's something I have to do in Small Land to get any more coins. Damn it, I was kind of hoping to avoid that. Speed Mario! Gotta soup fast. There's good and bad in almost all types of people, varying levels of those labels. Why can't the world just be neatly divided into discernible good and evil sections? My black and white way of thinking can be socially acceptable. I am currently a very toasty bird boy. I think I already did this post. Okay. Is there a spot I can... No, I think I have to go to the other side. OCPFP Discord's name is Crow. I get it, Chrono. Raced the bird boy for the past 2 years. Cool, cool. Okay. I'm very easily distracted. The first time in a while, it doesn't feel that bad here, but I kind of know the outside probably feels like we're inside a mouth. Yeah, if the tiny Goombas hate you, they won't damage you, but they will self-destruct. Why would you do that? Fucking... Damn it, I was at 90 coins, too. Mumble grumble. And likely to hit a mini nut. Once again, just explodes all over the place as soon as it touches me. Come back here. Why are you so fast? Haha, 1. I didn't forget about racing Koopa the Quick and actually doing the main goal for the star. You forgot about it. No! You, ow, 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 my ass! Why would you do that? Burgor. It needs enough coins in it. Okay. Everyone trying to burn me, bro. Alright. Now we're making some progress. We're at 3. Got the grass out here is all smushy and you can't get a good jump going. Yep. Rude, come on. It's always been a little weird to me, like, you couldn't jump on piranha plants in the 2D Super Mario Brothers game, but you can, like, jump or punch them in 64. So they're, like, really a completely different type of enemy as far as, like, game design goes. Okay, I don't think I can get anywhere else from here at the moment. Can't not touch that fire. Shush! I can't help that me having a hot ass is inevitable, okay? Ooh, one up. No, you don't. No, you don't. Okay, that guy will, like, one-shot eat you like the freaking, I cannot think of the name. The freaking fish from Jak and Daxter when you swim out too far. Damn it! Curious mouse, that fire was enticing. Like a mouse to a flame. A very cheese-flavored flame. Mario 64 Mario has better shoes. Got the ergonomic shoes. The piranha stomping shoes. At least it was easy to deal with the Shy Guy that time. Fire can be orange. Understand the confusion, right? Thank you. Wait a minute. Could I, would I, should I? Can I get up here with just the shell? Yeah. No. Worth a shot. Haven't played Jak and Daxter in ages. Neither's can. Ah! Why would you do that to me? I am just a poor time-blind little mouse who is always eepy. But hey, I came back to Mario 64. We'll come back to the other games too. Pooped little mouse. Oh, my snoot. Why must my ass be on fire? Also adorable. No. No. You're adorable. Yuck. Ow. Just casually bonks your nose on a cliffside. Thankfully, if I turn into midair, they'll just run straight into my butt. Shooby-doo-wop-doo-doo-doo. Still all the cheese. Mwahaha. Unfortunately, more than one person can be adorable at a time. Just face that you're adorable too. How dare you? Me when the game house streams. Hi, Rain. How are you doing on this lovely Thursday evening? We're playing some Super Mario 64, and I'm definitely not forgetting my goal and getting distracted and trying to do the 100 coin star instead. Yeah, we've only got 23 stars left in this whole game. Then we're going to grab Bowser and give him a pounding. My chat's so colorful. It's red, blue, and yellow. Oh my god, you guys are Gen 1ers. Ugh. Then again, at least we got that premium Splunk Dinko content. I have 67 coins, you guys. I did it. I did the meme. Ow. Ah! No, 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 no. I'm gonna burn my ass to the... Fuck! My ass on fire, taking balls directly to the face. Yeah, it's a normal Thursday evening. In local gaming mouse, distracted by mountain of cheese she is currently facing. That's what happens when you made a 6-7 joke. Ah! Hi, Soda. Ass on fire, balls everywhere. Yeah, you came in at just the right time. Ow, my goomb. But how are you today, Soda, on this lovely, probably like Friday morning at this point for you? We're playing some Super Mario 64. We're on a tiny, huge island. I'm getting my ass burnt multiple times. Good thing there's water nearby. Oh my god, on my fingertips? Oh, that's right, there's this thing. Teppelport. So I had to try and finish Xenoblade Cross before I restarted 2 when it gets to the Switch 2 edition. Got the flight module now. Awesome. I have actually played Cross the least out of all the Xenoblades. I actually have it on Wii U. I'll probably buy the definitive edition for Switch later, but like I did enjoy what I did play of it, but it's like I just was in a mood at the time. It also doesn't help that I got Xenoblade Cross 2 days before Xenoblade 2 came out. Wow. That's what I get for living on the edge. I edged myself too hard. Can't believe they have Xenoblade 10 before 4. Need Xenoblade Genesis. I think you mean Xenoblade Mega Drive. But yeah, Xenoblade Genesis looks freaking amazing. I am so excited. One of the things I'm excited about the most is they finally dropped the word Chronicles from the title, which I have been yelling about since forever. Live and learn, hang on the edge of tomorrow, Mega Man X situation. No, it is so hard to explain to people that Project Cross Zone is Cross, but Final Fantasy X is 10, but Mega Man X is X. Oh, then again, I think when Mega Man X came out, there were 6 NES games and 4 Game Boy Mega Man games, so maybe that was intentional? Because, fun fact, Mega Man 6 and Mega Man X were actually in development simultaneously. And I'll always look for an excuse to use the word simultaneously in a sentence. Wouldn't that be 11 then? Wonder if it's a sub-series now or a subtitle. You mean Xenoblade Cross? Because, like, okay, the reason I keep calling it Xenoblade Cross, though I'm pretty sure every other English speaker says Xenoblade X, and I think even Nintendo's marketing says Xenoblade X, the katakana on the Japanese box says Xenoblade Cross. Oh, if it's a subtitle? I feel like Genesis is going to be a new series. Final Fantasy X-2, my beloved weird title. Oh yeah, there's that, and also explaining that Final Fantasy X-2 is not Final Fantasy XII. Though personally, it's kind of like my replacement for an 11th entry because I don't play the online games. Nothing against them, I just don't play them. Someone named Enoblade's gamer tag, don't worry too much. Once again, Maddie being funnier than me in my chat. Yo, what's up? It's your boy Super Saiyan 5 Vegito 420 over here playing some new games on the Xbox 360. Tales of Destinies 2 starring Reed. I am very excited about Eternia. I am really kind of irritated, though, that in the Direct, fucking A New Atelier and the Tales of Eternia remaster were like half of a minute in the not even 30 seconds each, like 5 seconds each in the sizzle reel. Like, that's 2 really huge announcements, and they're in the goddamn sizzle reel. While we spend freaking, like, 10 minutes on Koizumi jorking it. So I clip it. Wait. Yep, that was also like, well, the thing is, like, there had been a, I don't even know if you'd call it a leak, but the UK ratings board had Tales of Eternia rated Peggy 12 on their website, like the remaster. So that was kind of already whoopsied. And the thing is, like, I don't want to really call that a leak because, like, you know, as David Vink said when covering it, you know, Peggy doesn't rate leaks. But I am very, very glad Eternia is here, because honestly, I was a little scared that the Tales of Remaster project was only going to be games that were already in HD and localized. Which, like, I'm still glad that it's here. You know, being able to have Tales of Exilia and stuff and Graces on modern consoles is good. But I was a little bit worried that it's, like, was going to be a very small scope remaster project. Like, here's a remaster of some things that don't require too much budget. What about Tales of Wario? Well, that's going to be the RPG you're working on, right, Soda? You've got to be fucking kidding me. I just got fucking Piccolo in the Tournament of Power. How could you do this to me? Oh, well, time to do the same thing again and not learn my lesson. Hi, 7th. How are you doing on this lovely Thursday evening? Yeah, I am so freaking thankful we're getting 2D Tales entries. This opens so many windows, and it looks like, from everything I've seen in the footage and stuff, they're actually, like, relocalizing it with new voice acting. Which means we're actually going to get the skits localized officially into English for the first time. Because they just completely freaking left them out of the North American localization on PS1 and the PAL version for PSP. And finally get my Tales of games on one system, Evil Smirk. Think about themes and genres for it. I mean, Wario's an easy character to write a story for. A treasure exists. I want it! Wahaha! There you go, that's the story. The Spinies in this game are such funky creatures. Homie's got like one freaking polygon to work with. Ow, my ass! At least it didn't get set on fire again. I love that Lakitu's cloud looks like it was just painted in with like the freaking spray paint brush on Photoshop or something. Damn, homie launched right out and landed back in his shell. Like, look at this fella. He's a crunchy little scrunkle. He's a scrimbly little bumbus. He's a skrinky little scooter. Ow! He scrinkled right into me. Why would you do that? Wario wants every treasure that hasn't gone for you yet. Oh my gosh. Ooh, woo. Well, because you need to get you guys first. You're way more valuable. Oof. Oh boy, I really thought he was about to eat me. Saying hi, want to wake up tomorrow early, 9 a.m. It's 2:28. Have a good one. Well, thank you for dropping by, Soda. I know it's always great when you're here. I hope you have a nice, good sleep. Nice, comfy, restful sleep. Turn the air conditioner on way too high and then cuddle under blankets. Like, that's the ultimate decadence in summer. Oh, wait, that's right. I forgot, like, France is, like, freaking, temperate. So you guys don't have to worry about misery summers most of the time. I thought you were on a horse. Oh, no. I was just making that sound with coconuts. Yeah. Coconuts? Where did you get those? I found them. You found them? Yeah. Coconuts only grow in the tropics. Okay. Well, this is a temperate zone. Ah, to live in a temperate zone. I mean, I don't really live in the tropics. I just live in that one weird part of, like, the Earth's gravitational pull where I get all the weather extremes. Love it when I find coconuts. My coconuts. Singing about her favorite Sonic the Hedgehog character, no doubt. You know, it is so funny to me going back to like some of the stuff with the Archie comics and all that. is it tried to integrate literally everything Sonic as it went on. I think the only thing it didn't try to integrate was Sonic X, which ended up having its own comic series from Archie as well. So, you know, you would have, like, some legitimately, like, horrific moments and stuff like that happen that have, like, the tone of Sad AM, but also sometimes just Grounder, Scratch, and Coconuts were also there. So you have, like, betrayal and fallen kingdoms and people trapped in, like, interdimensional hellscapes. And then in the next chapter, you know, like, Scratch and Grounder are trying to come up with a way to catch Sonic. Dad found a Coconut around here in Ohio, so it's not impossible. I need Persona 4 Revival injected into my veins. Ah, so true. Live in a temperate zone, and I still want to move further north because I can't stand the summers here. I don't blame you. Yeah, it ended up having the crossover with Sonic X also. Like I said, you know, say what you will about Archie's Sonic series and all that, but the Mega Man crossover gave me a comic that had, like, Skies of Arcadia and Breath of Fire in it. So, like... Mods, make rain cold. That's called snow. You motherfucker! Put me down! Not like that, not like that, not like that! A summer where it only snows a few inches is the summer I want. You see, my problem is I also hate cold weather. What's your favorite thing about that comic? Literally made just for me. Oh, that's right, because, like, Amaterasu's in there, because it's got, like, Okami and stuff, too. It's just like, yes, this. Because honestly, like, Seventh, you've probably seen it, but the fan game, Sega versus Capcom, like, I would love for that to be an official game, even though what they're doing now looks amazing. Right, so we're all moving to Canada. Got it. I have other reasons for wishing I could move to Canada. Just gonna pull a freaking Proton John and transition for 2 years and nobody notices. Played the alpha release. It's really cool. It looks cool. Because I know they had, like, what, Sonic, Mega Man X, Ryu, and I think there was another Sega character I don't remember right now. I don't know if they ever added any other characters, because I haven't seen any updates for a while, but I probably just haven't been looking in the right places. Okay, 85 coins. Shit, shit, shit. Wait, shit, did I ever go to Piranha Plant Land? I'm back at 90. Okay, Claire doing that was one of the funniest things. Yeah. Especially because, like, if you flash back to one of the streams, somebody made a meme where, like, Proton John takes off his glasses and turns into a different person. They just happen to draw, like, a big titty anime girl or something for the meme. And John was like, or Claire was like, ha, please. I'm sure if I had tits, you people would notice. Sonic, Vice, Axel, Akira on the Sega side. Okay, you know this is made by people who are just, like, deep in it. Like, these are the real sickos compliment. Also, fun fact, the tiny little Koopa Troopa here actually is Koopa the Quick. If you kill it and get, like, the coin from it, he won't come back and you can't get the star. Until you, like, leave and come back to the stage. God damn it. Tiny Island is a pain to navigate because, like, there's some spots where it is so freaking easy to just fall off and die. As you saw when that Goomba goomed me before. Water. Okay. Wasn't surprised in the slightest when she announced it, but I thought it was very funny. Ah! This is why I never go to the tiny side of the island. She says as she starts the island on the tiny side. Honestly, just hearing news about a long-time content creator that didn't have to do with them being racist or queerphobic. Yeah, it's nice. It's also really funny to me, like, this is probably going to only make sense to people who were following the YouTube, like, fan stuff closely for a while. But, like, I am mildly amused a little. Like, I should not amused, I guess morbidly amused, because it's not really funny. But, like, with normal boots, it's just been like, you know, so many people have had some weird controversy or, you know, come out to be doing something horrible or illegal. And then there's just like Peanut Butter Gamer, who's just a guy who hasn't aged in 15 years and is just making his same YouTube kind of videos he's always made. And Continue, who's just doing their thing and hanging out and doing the thing they've always done. And it's like different levels of funny, weird, and jarring because, like, if you only really followed PBG and Continue that closely, you'd never know anything happened. Wait, shit. I didn't do this right. I'm very easily distracted. Of course, one of the things about having, like, ADHD and time blindness and stuff is I'll be like, oh yeah, I haven't watched this person's videos for a couple weeks. They probably have one or two that I haven't seen yet. And then I'll realize it's been 2 years since I've watched a specific person's videos, and now I have, like, 20 videos to catch up on or something. That's where I found myself with, Thabeast. It's T-H-A and then the word beast as, like, one word. Commenters on his streams usually refer to him as Thab, so I'm guessing it is supposed to be Thabeast as one word. But he was making a really cool series where he's playing literally every Nintendo 64 game, like, that's ever released in any territory, and beating them all. And like I said, I'm like, oh, I haven't watched his stuff in a couple weeks. I should catch up. And like I said, it has been a year and a half. N64 guy, yeah. It's interesting because, you know, he's closing in on the end of the library from what I can tell. There's not even like 400 games on the N64, and some of them are pretty darn short. But he's mentioned before that, like, he does want to try to not complete the entire PS1 library, but he does want to, like, go back through a lot of favorites and stuff like that, and he isn't sure what he's going to do after that, but he kind of wants to, like, keep the vibe and the era and all that. Because I really love PS1 and N64 and Saturn era, and also the Dreamcast is part of that, too. To me, like, in my personal internals. Because, like, I grew up with, like, Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, and like I said, I also had an NES, but it was already old by the time I got one. But, you know, I grew up with Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis and stuff, but I feel like, even though I loved games back then, what made me, like, a true lifelong, the kind of fact-gobbling, crazy enthusiast that I am, was really the games that I fell in love with on the PlayStation 1 and the Nintendo 64 and everything. Especially because that's when RPGs got huge. So I have a lot of special affection for that era of gaming. Though I really do love just about every era of gaming. I know I am very critical of the PlayStation 3 and 360 era, but, you know, that era still had lots of good games. My issues with it are not necessarily... That's not the area with the freaking wind. Why would you do that to me? I have spent 45 minutes doing this 100 coin star. Sometimes you just gotta fall unceremoniously, as one does. No, honestly, like, this is the problem I have with the back half of Mario 64, is you lose a lot of the big, fun, open exploration of the first handful of levels. Well, not really handful, like the first 75% of the game. And while I understand you have platforming challenges in your platformer, there are just so many things where you can just fucking fall off and die. Like, especially when we get to the last two courses, there are just some parts where one mistake, you can either end up falling off and dying, or it's just like you lose so much progress that you wish you could have just lost a life instead. Damn it. Wait, can I go down there? Okay. Hey, look, I'm experimenting with jumping to my death without 90 coins in the bank or whatever. Because I think I remember Seventh making, like, a Blue Sky tweet about this a while ago where, like, I guess minor Mario 64 spoilers if you're experiencing the game for the first time with me, but Rainbow Ride. Ugh. That's all I'll say for now. Fuck! First half's when you remember this was Nintendo's first crack at this kind of game. Well, again, like, honestly, Bob-omb Battlefield is one of my favorite levels in any... Oh, second half. Okay, I gotcha. But yeah, Bob-omb Battlefield is one of my favorite freaking stages in anything ever. Like, okay, to me, Bob-omb Battlefield is right up there with Green Hill Zone. Is just one of those perfect first stages. Get the coin, get the coin, get the coin, get the coin. Thank you. Only way I've experienced Rainbow Ride is on the Smash stage. So I can imagine it's rough. The Smash stage is fairly accurate. There is not a lot of space to run around and do any Marioing. Also, Rainbow Ride is one of a handful of Smash levels where the localization team kind of missed the localization synchronicity, because it's called Rainbow Cruise in Melee, and it's when it's brought back in Ultimate, it's also called Rainbow Cruise. Rainbow Cruise is Rainbow Ride's Japanese name. So it really should have been called Rainbow Ride in English. But I feel like whoever was localizing it didn't realize that it was referencing the Mario 64 stage specifically. Because the Japanese version uses the word Rainbow Cruise in English for the level name. Look, I didn't fall down the pit this time. Shit, 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 fuck, 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 fuck. Okay, we're fine, we're fine, we're fine, we're fine, we're fine. Doop-a-doop-doop, against the wind. I don't even really like that song that much. Fun random me fact, I actually listened to a lot of oldies when I was a kid. I didn't actually start listening to any music that was contemporary for the 90s until, like, I was in high school. I mean, I still heard stuff that came on the radio every now and then, but, like, I listened to a lot of 60s music and a lot of 80s music when I was a kid. Didn't fall all the way down, like 1987. I mean, some of the music was from 1987. Ow! Fuck. Okay. Not this time. Sorry, the Byte of 87. The Megabyte of 87. Yeah, it is crazy how many old games from around that era are like these big, expansive adventures that are under 1 megabyte. Because I know I mentioned before the whole like meme where like this screenshot of Super Mario Brothers has a bigger file size than the actual game. Because, you know, I always think of a lot of games like the Breath of Fire 1 and 2 or Final Fantasy 6 or Chrono Trigger just being these enormous epics. But, like, their file sizes are so small we wouldn't even notice if they were an update for another game. Okay. Shit! Shit! Okay, we're cool, we cool. Gonna hop on my shell. Grew up in Motown House, so I was born to 2 jazz aficionados. Hell yeah. No, like, trust me, jazz music, I love so many different kinds of music so much that it is hard for me to say that one kind is my favorite, but I adore jazz music so much. It's like, you probably noticed the fact that even though I have the playlist randomized, the first one, whenever I start my little stream playlist, you know, the little whole starting soon thing, is almost always Jacint's theme. I know that's more electro swing, but still. So, hey, if we're bringing up jazz music, that's a great excuse to turn the conversation back into being about Breath of Fire 3. It is interesting, though, how, tracing it back, I realized that a lot of my taste in music comes from Mega Man and Sonic the Hedgehog. Because there's a lot of, especially in Sonic, there's a lot of Motown influence, a lot of, and that's only something I learned in the last maybe like 10 years or so, listening to some classic 80s music. And I'm like, oh, this cooks. No! Jazz, ska, electro swing, all very good genres. Parents went the whole 9 yards, named me after a jazz artist and everything. There was a jazz artist named the Seventh Force? That was a joke, by the way. I actually, at one of my old jobs, worked with somebody who was named after, I think they're a guitarist in Queen who's just named Brian May. And his parents named him Brian May, but not as his first name and middle name, just his first name's Brian May. Two words. It was the Sixth Force, Ashley. Oh, of course, you have to have them in sequence. No, okay, honestly, outside the context of Gunstar Superheroes, or Gunstar Heroes, and the video game reference, the Seventh Force actually really would have been a cooking name for, like, an 80s jazz group. It very much has the same energy as, like, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Sorry, my brain just completely deviated onto an unrelated subject. Because I randomly just started thinking about, like, Android 17 and 18 from Dragon Ball. And, was wondering, like, how long they had been in stasis and how old they actually were. Because, like, it implies that they were teenagers when, or at least, you know, punks when, you know, Dr. Garo found them and started experimenting on them, but, like... you know, are they roughly the same age as, like, Goku and Krillin and everybody? And they've just been in stasis for years? Possibly older if they were teenagers when Goku and Krillin and them were kids? I've mentioned this before, my mom's birthday is actually 9/21, and somehow I'm the only one who sends her September by Earth, Wind, and Fire on her birthday. Same, your mom's is 9/17, September babies. Your mom's getting a lot of games for her birthday this year, 7th. Like, I feel like half the games that came out in, or were announced in the Direct the other day are all coming out on September 17th. It's funny, though, because, like, I specifically always remember your mom's birthday because of the level select code in Sonic 2. And considering that, you know, the person whose birthday it was originally intended to be in the game is, like, a convicted felon now, I think I'll stick to it having Sonic 2 be a reference to your mom's birthday. It's like how I like to believe that the 6'7" meme is actually a reference to the fact that my mom would have been 67 years old in 2025, so I choose to believe the whole world was celebrating her birthday. Granted, like, I know a lot of streamer personalities end up, like, if their parent ever shows up or anything, their parent gets, like, a cute little nickname adjacent to the streamer. So would yours be, like, Mom Force or the 7th Mom? It's actually 10 years older than Naka, so it's an easy code to remember. Okay, I will not take balls to the face at the moment. Ow, damn it! I should have talked to my secretary. Secretary, hold my balls, please. Ow! Your mom was the protagonist. She's very likely the 6'7" meme was the world celebrating her birthday. It is actually very kind of, like, heartwarming to me specifically that, you know, even though she isn't in this dimension with us anymore, my mom still manages to be a major part of the streams. Okay, so there's no more coins up here. I don't need to go up here. Focus M. Okay, one of the, like, kind of weirder adjustments to going back to old games, of all the things, believe it or not, is that so many games that predate PS2, and some of them on, like, PS2 and stuff, if you're ever aiming a camera... No, come on! But if you're ever aiming a camera, you have to, like, look around with the left stick. It is weird how long it took for the right stick to be used for much of anything. Because, like, even, like, Resident Evil 4, which is considered, like, the progenitor of the modern third-person shooter, and it really is, you know, you didn't, like, aim with the right stick or aim while moving. You, like, would stop and go into aim mode and fall off a cliff and die. But no, you'd stop and go into aim mode. This is just going to be 3 hours of me trying to get this 1 star. Jesus Louises. Yeah, you go into aim mode and then, like, plant your feet and use the left stick to aim. That and there are a couple older games that, like, it feels really cursed now, but they would have you aim with the left stick and then, like, move with the right stick. I think Gun Griffin Blaze on PS2 does that. Which, like, that was a launch window title. I think it was actually a launch title now that I think about it. I am so sorry. You guys are probably so sick of watching me beat up these same piranha plants over and over. Ow, ow, damn it! I'm not going to be able to get the coins! Man. Whatever. I'm just going to move on. You know, it is actually weird to me, thinking about it, how long it took them to really actually follow up on Mario 64. Because, like, I know Sunshine ostensibly has a similar structure, but it really doesn't. Sunshine is so linear. Like, with Mario 64, even though I'm very stubborn and I keep doing the same thing over and over, if you actually get stuck on a star and don't think you can do it, you can literally go anywhere else in the game and do something else. You know, with a certain degree of limitations, but... You know, with... and then Galaxy, the games are, like, kind of a hybrid between the 2D linearity with a little bit of the Mario 64 style, but it's more the Mario 64 moment-to-moment gameplay with a linear structure. So it really wasn't until Odyssey that there was really, like, a Mario 64 2 kind of game. And that's, like, 21 years later. Seen me fight the same enemy over and over, waiting for a rare spawn and not realizing I was fighting said rare spawn. It's fine. That's fair. Watch and play Mario 64 co-op a lot. Mario 64 is also interesting in the way that it's, like, one of those games that in the internet zeitgeist has never really gone away. But then again, like, I feel like it's kind of foundational to internet culture in general. Also, I feel like it's underrated how much Super Mario RPG is foundational to internet culture. Because, like, that song, the sad song you hear everywhere, it's like, ding doo ding, ding dee 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 doo doo. That's from Mario RPG. I'm not doing a very good impression of it, but you'd know it if you heard it. Also, it's interesting, you know, this game reuses a lot of music tracks, which a lot of Mario games do, but it's always been really fun to me how, you know, this is the Bob-omb Battlefield track, but it has a completely different vibe when used in this stage. It's like how the slider theme is used in another stage coming up, but it has a completely different vibe in that stage too. Which I guess a good comparison will be like the Safari Zone using the Evolution theme from in Pokemon like Red, Blue, and the remakes. Come on, come here so I can kick you. Turn around and I'll kick you. Tomorrow I'll lick you. We really need to have a talk about our relationship. Bonk. You know, maybe I should play the Bonk games. I don't think I have them on a console that has HD output, though. 'Cause I have the first Bonk's Adventure on Wii. It was on Virtual Console, but I don't think I ever bought any of them on Wii U. Well, rip one up. Okay, we're entering the ball zone. Come on. What? $69, dudes. Nice. Okay. I've mentioned this before, but the Chuckya and the way that they use the light, like, shine on it is just such a well done effect. It is one of the best uses of billboarding I think I've seen. Because I never would have guessed that wasn't a 3D model until I looked into it. Fuck! Ah, shit. Messing up 2 of the Goomba Stomps might cost me the 100. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I thought this had a teleporter in it. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Nice. No longer nice. Sorry. Strawberry champagne. Oh, nice. Hey, remember how, like, with the Yu Yu Hakusho dub, they made that one, like, dude with the mohawk in the Dirk tournament, like, randomly Australian, but it was very definitely an American voice actor just trying really hard to do an Australian accent. And then they made another guy, like, super duper Irish sounding, but it was very clearly an American actor trying to do an Irish accent. Which is weird because other than that, Yu Yu Hakusho's dub is, like, freaking stellar. And depending on your taste, maybe those were stellar too. Yeah, Chu and Jin. They were great characters for sure, but it's just like, I mean, I guess they did their job because they both certainly stick in my head, that's for sure. Then again, I do always wonder, because I haven't really watched that far into the Japanese dub for Yu Yu Hakusho. I do always wonder if they had, like, you know, more unusual Japanese dialects in the original, so they kind of wanted to have them sound different from the otherwise mostly just American-sounding cast. Tiny balls. Remember, guys, tiny balls can be just as powerful as big ones, so don't underestimate them. Come on. Ack! Wait, come back. $95, come on. Oh, I don't want to do anything danger. I'm scared. And I need to talk to that Bob-omb to open the cannon. But I don't want to get my ass caught on fire and run off the edge of the ledge. That's nice. I just didn't expect you to be pseudo-Australian. Hi, I'll prepare the cannon for you. But Bomb Buddies are one of my favorite little additions to the Mario universe from 64. I don't know why, I've just always really liked them. I think it also opened the door up. Well, there was also Monster Town for Mario RPG, to where, like, you know, Bowser's minions aren't inherently evil by species. That's just, like, their job. And then, you know, like, the Paper Mario games super expanded on the concept. And gave us Goombella, who's really freaking cool and awesome. Okay. Oh boy, I am living on the edge. Living on the edge, hotter than intensity. Locking in chat. Oh, thank goodness. It's finally over. Okay. So even if I fall to my death like a dumbass, I got the star. Now let's actually do the thing we came here for, maybe. We did it! We beat Mario 64! Okay, everybody. Grab your favorite sugar-free, caffeine-free beverage of choice. I got my water tumbler right here. Take yourself a nice big sippy. Some good Mizu. Alrighty. Actually, real quick, I am going to run to the bathroom. Go ahead and run an ad real quick, and I will be right back, cuties. I return. Playing Super Mario 64 while listening to Final Fantasy VII music. It's good stuff. Long time no see. Wow, you've gotten fast. You've been training on the sly, or is it the power of the Power Stars? I've been feeling down about losing last race. This is my home course. How about a rematch? Goal is Windswept Valley. Okie dokie. Gotta go fast. Gotta go faster, 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 faster. Sonic, he's on the run. Sonic, he's got a gun. Sonic, he's having sex, so watch out for Sonic X. Hey, hey! This Koopa's quick! Well, damn. You get for messing with Koopa the Quick. Better luck next time. Oh, guess I'll just die. No, fortunately, we do get to keep our 100 coin star, so. Hopefully this one won't take us an hour. It was a photo finish, you almost had him. Now, generally the 100 coin star tends to be the most time consuming of any of the stages. I feel like they're definitely meant for once you've actually, you know, gotten all the other stars and you come back with like total mastery of the level, knowing where everything is. Because that's one of the weird design issues with Sunshine, is that there are still 100 coin stars, but with Sunshine, the layout of each stage changes depending on which Shine mission you select. And not all of them will have 100 coins, so you can go looking for the 100 coin star and the game will do nothing to indicate whether there's even enough coins in the level to do it. Hit in the wrong direction. I forgot to mute the mic. Sorry, I didn't mean to sneeze on you guys. Bless you, thank you. Alrighty. You know, whenever I do any race thing like this on the Super Nintendo 64, Micaiah, calm down. On the N64, I always think about the bosses in Diddy Kong Racing who just, like, will start running before they say go. And, like, you yourself, while you're playing, you can't actually start, like, going before they do. They'll just be, like, booking it before you can even step on the gas. No way, you beat me again? I just spent my entire savings on those new Koopa Mach 1 sprint shoes. Here, I guess I have to hand over the star to the winner of the race. Congrats, Mario. Homie really just, like, plunked down full price for the Air Jordans thinking they'd make him a better baller. Five itty-bitty secrets. Oh my. More expensive tool always means better one. Get real, obviously. Though that does, like, make me think about, because Scott the Woz actually did an episode on this, but I've always kind of had this thought in my head, too. Where, like, a lot of the pricey pro video game controllers will have stuff that, like in the old days for, like, the Super Nintendo and stuff, they'd have, like, Turbo Fire and all that. And, you know, for modern ones, they'll have, like, levers and stuff where you can, like, remap the buttons differently. And, you know, pointing out the fact that, well, wait, these controllers technically make the game easier? So, like, wouldn't professionals not need this? Wouldn't this be a controller for beginners? But, you know, that's the marketing doesn't like that angle. Oh boy. We gotta tickle it. We gotta tickle this level's balls. Shit. There are the balls right there. We gotta tickle them. There's one here. IIRC. Yep, okay, there's one right there. Three. I think I know where one more is, but is there one in the... what would be the cannon? Okay, so I know where the last one is. I think. Hey, Maddie playing Tomodachi Life Living the Dream on the Nintendo Switch, too. That reminds me, after stream, I need to check my night market. Come on. Don't make me, like, freaking tiptoe across the damn bridge again. That's classified. Yep. Why would you put that there? That's a terrible idea. I already touched all your little holes. Why do you have to play hard to get? Okay. Try not to fall on to my fucking death or some shit again. Because this is a fucking stage for ants. It needs to be at least 3 times this size. All right. Exponentially less disastrous than our other excursion, and that's our 100th star, you guys. We've only got 20 left in the whole game. Wigglers are red coins. It's a wiggling time. Man, I should have done this yesterday. It could have been Wiggler Wednesday. Can't believe you're going to be the first mouse to have collected all 120 stars. It's true. I'm making Squeaker history. Oh, time to shoot myself out of a cannon. Tree. I missed. Because where I need to get is, ow. In there. Womp. It is funny that the 1-ups respawn pretty reliably, so if you know where to find a bunch of hidden 1-ups in the stages, you can actually, like, get net positive on extra lives every time you die. Every time you die, I get the feeling. Yeah, because as you know, being shot out of a cannon into a tree will negate any damage you would have taken from both. That's just how physics work. Mario. Doobity-doo-ba-doop-doop. Wait a minute, I went through all that shit when I had 95 coins when I could have just come up here. God fucking damn it. Ooh, we got the spooky cave music. Ah. Ah. Okay, come on. You know, I should probably get that coin last, since I have to come back over here for the star anyway, but that makes too much sense. I'm not going to think to do that. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay, give me a minute. Oh, that sounds Wiggler. Hi, Wiggler. I'm gonna have to get up here anyway, because I don't think I can jump up to any of the other spots from... Wait, shit! Ah! I really thought I hit the, I was trying to do a long jump and I missed the button input. Okay, we got this, though. We got this. Like I said, it is interesting how many 1-ups are kind of all over the place in this game. I do wonder if that was kind of meant to be a little bit of a cushion for, you know, basically everybody getting used to 3D video games at this point. It is crazy to me, though, how long it took for gaming to kind of drop live systems. Because arguably they were outdated as early as the NES in a lot of ways. I can understand why a lot of older games had them, because, like, you know, if it's a game without any kind of save feature, then, you know, your lives kind of are your save feature, and it's kind of a more run-based challenge. You know, if you have limited lives and limited continues and stuff, but, like, you know, if it's a game that has a save feature, then lives really don't matter. Because, you know, a lot of games would have, like, lives and a save feature and infinite continues, so it's like... Also, there's some games you'll go back to and you'll get, like, jump scared by them having a live system. I think the most egregious is probably Zelda 2. But that... I don't have an excuse there. I just didn't hit the button fast enough. Me when I have to do platforming in my platforming game. You know, I'm trying to think, is Mario 64 like the first major game release to have ledge grabs? No, because there were definitely Super Nintendo games that had it. I know at the very least off the top of my head, in the Super Nintendo Aladdin, you could grab a ledge if you missed it. Legit though, Super Nintendo Aladdin, I feel like gets a, it does not get the love and respect it deserved. It was actually designed by Shinji Mikami, mostly. Who has a humongous pedigree. Is a certain, certain adventure game that you probably know him for. That's right, Goof Troop, also on the Super Nintendo. No one can pass up a flirty ledge grab. That's fair. But I mean, again, I feel like that's definitely one of those, like, things to alleviate frustration with 3D being new. Because that's actually why they decided, according to some interviews, if I recall correctly, why they decided to have Mario, like, punch and kick, even though that's not something you really did outside of, I guess, Mario RPG. Was because, you know, they were worried it might be difficult for people to grasp jumping on enemies' heads in 3D space. So they wanted to give Mario a more, like, direct move you could use to defeat enemies. I need to slow down. That's my problem. I get in a hurry. And it isn't even just a streaming thing. Like, I will get in a hurry playing games by myself. I don't know why I even do that. I mean, I kind of do. I don't know if it's a neurodivergent thing or whatever, but it's like... I get in a hurry because, like, I'm so focused on my goal, I just want to get to it. Even though, you know, hurrying up and trying to go straight to it or whatever, or just being in a hurry in general, will actually make you take longer. Okay. Boy, that Wiggler sound sure is a sound. Okay. Damn it, I botched the freaking long jump input again. I never have any problem doing long jumps. Why am I messing it up? Argle, blargle, blargle, blargle. Okay, readjusting, sitting in my chair more pansexually. I don't want to have to do, like, you know, the 3 stages of, like, a boss fight or something, where you're kind of, like, lounging in your chair, or it could be a boss fight or a challenge or anything. You know, you're, like, you start lounging in your chair, but then you sit up, and then, like, if it's really intense, you're, like, standing up. Like, that's gonna somehow change the... But it's always so funny to me, like, when you get, like, the real challenging fights. And it's one of those things, like, I've always done, kind of, and didn't even notice I was doing until one time, I was like, I don't remember what game it was. I think it might have been Star Ocean: The Second Story, because that game has some rough boss fights. But, I remember just, like, being in my room, and I had this funky, fluffy beanbag chair, and I was lounging in it, and, like, by, like, my third or fourth attempt on this, you know, I had gone through the whole cycle and was just standing. And I remember my mom just walking by, you know, because I had my room door open, and she's like, "Why are you playing video games standing?" And I'm like, "Huh?" Ended up finding myself standing up and pacing, playing Champions. I was doing the same thing earlier today, playing TCG Pocket, though they haven't gotten the ranked seasons reset yet, so... But there's something I learned recently that I've always had, like, a thing with, that I learned might be, like, a neurodivergent thing, is, like, whenever I have to do anything competitive or anything where, like, winning has something on the line, quotation marks, you know, like there's a challenge in TCG Pocket where you get bonuses if you get win streaks. It's like, I feel like my throat starts closing up and my heart sinks to my feet. Especially because, like, I can tolerate the win streaks when you're, like, it's a thing you have to do to battle, like, the AI opponents or whatever. I hate using that word for its proper thing now. It's been tainted so much. God damn it. But, you know, like, fighting the computer opponents or whatever, it still is annoying and I can get tense about it to get win streaks, but I hate when they want you to get win streaks against other players, because, like, having your win streak broken, especially if you're close, really sucks. But I'm also kind of, like, I get empathetic and stuff when I play games like that, so I'm like, well, now I ruined someone else's win streak, and they must feel like shit. Which, like, yeah, I know it's a competitive game and all that stuff, but, like, you need to find people who are looking to help people by losing. Okay, you joke, but there was this one win streak thing early in TCG Pocket, and I actually played all the way through and got all the prize bonuses, so it didn't really matter whether I won or not. So I would just boot up a match and automatically forfeit to help people with their win streaks. The opposite of nah, I'd win. Nailed it. God damn it. Okay. Focus, calm down. Just use your upbeat. Why didn't I think of that? You know, it is weird that Super Smash Bros. 64 still isn't on... Switch... I mean, like, I feel like that's a shoe-in for Switch Online. Why am I having so much trouble with this? There we go. Fuck! I don't think I have ever in my life had this much trouble with this red coin mission. Scared of 64 brothers. Well, that, and I also would like the opportunity to play the Japanese version of Smash 1, which has some interesting differences. It's got a bunch of balance changes, and also the North American version made Luigi, like, taller. Smash 64 has its own vibe, though. I really like it a lot. I'm sure part of that's nostalgia, but... It's weird because, like, as far as pure vibes go, I probably like Smash 64 the best. Though I feel like both Smash 64 and Melee have this, like... Oh, damn, I didn't even get to the red coin cave that time. But Smash 64 and Melee both have this, like... liminal spaces, kind of unsettling vibe to them a little bit. Yeah, but I was like 3 or 4 or something. The Nintendo 34. Actually, I guess you guys get a free fun random fact, because I just can't stop talking. Most Nintendo 64 games do not use 64 bits for any of their processing. So functionally, Nintendo 64 is mostly a 32-bit console. Smash 64 feels like a late 90s cheap Friday night pay-per-view, and it rolls. It really, that's the vibe. That's it. Oh my gosh, Seventh, that's perfect. I can never put my finger on it. But yeah, that's it, and it is so perfect. Like, that's perfect for exactly what it is, too. And that was a series of events, and please never stop talking. I'm glad you feel that way, because I don't know if I physically can make myself stop. I will say, one of my favorite things about Super Smash Bros. Melee is that you can tilt the menu around 360 degrees with the C-Stick. Also, when I was a kid, and one of my probably most neurodivergent things is I would not start playing Smash Bros. Melee. I would reset back to the title screen over and over until I got the high energy song. You know, it's like doom 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 doom. Hi, Big Kyle. How are you doing on this lovely Thursday evening? We're souping our Mario 64. I definitely haven't died multiple times on the same red coin mission. Fuck. It's hot. I know. I fucking hate summer. My apologies to anyone named Summer who's watching this. I wasn't talking about you. You're beautiful. Even if you don't think you're beautiful, you are. That one doesn't count. It's like, no, just Prince of Persia Sands of Time. No, no, no. That's not what happened. Also, after watching me play about half of Sands of Time, my mom would quote that all the freaking time. The prince is like, no, no, no. That's not what happened. Also, like, I think I mentioned before that I got Persona 5 Royal for like $11 or $12 on PC a while ago on sale on the Steam. And it's cool because it actually has recognizable... Like, it'll recognize any of the controllers, like a Switch Pro controller, Xbox, PlayStation... There's a trampoline at the bottom of the bottomless pit that bounces you back up. Obviously. Obviously. But everybody knows that, so I don't have to mention it. But I'm glad you helped fill in the 1 or 2 people who might not be aware. But, like, it made me realize that, like, Persona 5's HUD really needs the button colors to pop properly. Because obviously Persona 5 was originally a PS4 exclusive, and it had the PS4 button colors. But the PS5 version of Persona 5 Royal and the Switch versions both have, like, the buttons all white, and it actually kind of makes the HUD a little harder to read. Maybe that's just a dyslexia thing on my end. It also really irritates me, because I mentioned before my irritation of the PS5 DualSense getting rid of the PlayStation button colors and making all the buttons white with, just like white with gray. And it really bugs me that so many games, in-game HUDs, don't have the colors either. Which, like, okay, yeah, that makes sense because it accurately reflects the controller. Because, like, I ended up getting Mina the Hollower on PS5. And I had seen screenshots with colored-in PlayStation buttons, but the game doesn't have a PS4 version. So I'm like, oh, sweet, they kept the button colors, and, like, I guess it only does that if you're playing with a DualShock 4 on the PC version. Because the PS5 version does not have button colors, but it does let you remap confirm to circle, so that's pretty awesome. It is actually weird to me how many games will have, like, full button remapping, but will not let you remap the confirm or cancel buttons. Especially with how many people play on, like, multiple platforms now. Because I know, somebody I used to work with who was, like, I think born in, like, 98 or 99, basically, like, they had, aside from a little bit of the Wii, they had never played, a Nintendo platform before the Switch. It's like, he said he had, like, his parents had a Wii, but they never had, like, a classic controller or anything, they just had, like, Wii Sports and stuff. Like, he played a friend's DS a little bit, but, you know, it had all just been, like, Xbox or PlayStation until he got a Switch. So he would constantly be canceling out of menus on Switch because he was not used to confirm being the side button. He'd literally never played a console where confirm was on that button. How do I get up there? Wait, can I climb the grating? So, like, it would make such a difference for people like him if, you know, you could just swap the confirm button over to B. I wouldn't want to do that. I don't like the confirm button being there, especially not on Nintendo. Well, don't like is a pretty strong thing. Like, I'd prefer the button be in the corner most of the time. But, you know, like, I feel like needs other than my own can be catered to. Oh, shit, really? I could have just avoided all the jumping and just... God damn it. Well, I mean, I guess it wouldn't have been avoiding all the jumping, because I still would have needed to, like... Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, locking in, because I don't want to burn my ass to death. Ow, my ass to death! I'm gonna McFreakin' lose it. Whoever decided the placement of the freaking fire spitty things, I just want to talk. Like, I feel like half my deaths on this thing have just been from, like, something catching my ass on fire. Okay, so if you're wondering why a random explodey ball just came out of nowhere and hit me, that wasn't some kind of weird glitch or something. Some of the butterflies that show up in the stage are not just for the background. Some of them, if they touch you, they'll turn into exploding balls. And then follow you until they hit you. Death from too much hotness. It had to be this way. Come on. Shy Guy Toes. Yeah, okay. Got him! For the bit! Okay, for real this time. Bing! You know, even if you guys don't mind, I'm getting tired of doing this red coin mission. But I'm also very stubborn. And I actually don't even remember. I think I vaguely remember what the 6th mission is. But I feel like it might be one that you can't get until, like, you actually click on the mission itself. Because there are a few of those in Mario 64. You know, like the Koopa the Quick ones and stuff are like that too. Okay. Well, now that I know I can grab the grating and all that stuff, hopefully this shouldn't be as bad. Ah! Come on. I don't think the game's dropping my inputs or anything. I think I am just, like, in a tizzy and I'm messing up. Why are you not grabbing the ledge? Those been playing video games, getting into a tizzy is very easy. Well, I mean, the thing that I have noticed about myself recently, just being a little more self-observant and all that, is, I tend to really get wound up if I have to continue repeating myself. I'm not a huge fan of the term pet peeve, but it's just like, I get really irritating having to repeat stuff over and over. Especially if it's something I've already figured out. There we go, we did it! Alright, only one more star left in Tiny Hug Island. You can find your favorite Mousy for a tiny hug. Wahoo! Make Wiggler squirm. What is this island, man? Like, first we're finding your 5 tiny little secrets, and now we're gonna make your Wiggler squirm? Okay, so this was the one I was thinking of for the last one, but like... Oh wait, I think I know what you have to do. It might be a little bit irritating. Because we have to, like, drain the water from the mountain. It's just the natural conclusion. You know what? Fair enough. The sequel to If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. If you give a mouse a hug, you'll get more hugs, because I'm a snuggle mouse. That's my secret. I'm a snuggler in real life. Anybody who is comfortable with getting hugs from me will be getting them. Like, my mom was like that too. She was very much a, you know, like, huggy and cuddly, and like, if I were sitting on the floor in front of her and she was in a chair, like I was playing a game or something, she would, like, braid strands of my hair, or just, like, you know, just put a hand on my shoulder or something. Just little stuff like that. And of course, we were definitely both hugging people, so. But the same author of Give a Bitch a Break. Yeah, I'm still waiting to read that book because I would love to be able to actually get one. Like, in the right environment, I'd be cuddly. I think so, Maddie. You are a big old sweetie. I think a lot of the affection that you have for pets would very much easily go to not even necessarily a partner, just... Oops, I hit the table. Not even necessarily just a partner, just like anybody who, you know, would be comfortable with being a snuggle baby. Am no words good, just Cuddlebug instead. You know what? Yeah. I keep touching the tiny secrets, trying to find the Wiggler. So cuddly to others, but hitting the table, who's the real you? Oh, the table likes it like that. Given how much my cuddle my cats get, that transfer over. Wiggle me this, Wiggler. Okay, come on. Wow, you flooded my house! Why? Look at this mess. What am I gonna do now? The ceiling's ruined. The floor's soaked. What to do? What to do? It makes me so mad. Everything's been going wrong ever since I got this star. It's so shiny, but it makes me feel strange. Sorry about that. I had to cough and take a drink of water. I think I method acted too hard in Super Mario 64. No idea where I'd land on the cuddle spectrum. I feel like that's one of those things you just kind of find out when you're in the situation. Can't take it anymore. First you get me all wet and then you stomp on me. I mean, some people like that. Now I'm really, really mad. Wah! Got a star stuck in your throat. Hey, knock it off! That's the second time you've nailed me! Vine Boom. Now you're asking for it, Linguini Breath! Oh, Uncle! Uncle, I give! Take this star! I feel better now. I don't really need it anymore anyway. I can see the stars through my ceiling at night. Makes me peaceful. Please, come back and visit anytime. And there he goes. Alrighty, Tiny Huge Island is finally complete. Thank God. I kind of do like the implication that the stars like this eldritch entity that if mishandled drive their owner mad. Okay, I think we've cleared out all of the main hallway area here, so time to go upstairs. Reacting to the star power, the door slowly opens. Yeah, it kind of does give a little bit of underlying lore there, which I think is interesting. There's something strange about that clock. As you jump inside, watch the position of the big hand. Oh, look what I found here, Mario. Catch! Alright, 103. We could technically beat the game now, because you only need 70 to open that door, but I want to get all 120 stars first. Are we ticking and or talking this clock? Mayhap. I think it's this one. Yep, this is one of the secret bonus stars. Wing Mario over the rainbow. Happy Pride Month, everybody! Fuck! Well, it's July already. Damn it. Yeah, the thing is, you don't lose a life when you course out of Wing Mario over the rainbow, but it throws you all the way back outside the castle. Like, playing this in as a kid, this is like... This is like one of the formative salty runbacks. Only thing worse than dying is being far away. I do love the way the clouds are like rendered and textured here. It's very nice though. They do feel very, very squishy soft. I missed. Still not as bad as being at 98 coins and getting sucked into the whatchamacallit. In the, I think it was in Dire Dire Docks. You're gonna make that lake into an ocean if you have any more salty runbacks. Okay, how about we take a break from that and trying to remember exactly how this lines up. I think 6 o'clock's when I want. Because as the toad implied, the clock hands will line up a specific way. And oops. Well, rip. Roll into the cage. I guess it's good to show you at first what TikTok clock is normally like. But yeah, like I was talking about earlier, the latter two stages have so little usable ground that, like, you don't really get to Mario 64 very much. Shit. That can't be TikTok clock. It's not going fast enough. Oh, don't worry. There's a setting for that. Yeah, if you go in at 3 o'clock, everything just stops. Not the enemies, but like all of the TikTok elements, but... Hey, buddy, leave me alone. Course feels like the closest exception to the rule, even with the big ass. Pit, yeah. It's just like, you know, the exploration stuff of like Bob-omb Battlefield and Womp's Fortress, and even some of the other later levels like, you know, Wet Dry World and stuff. Like, I feel like all that goes out the window with the last couple stages. Yeah, with the clock stopped, this is actually one of the easier red coin stars. Because all the red coins are just in one spot. Wouldn't be surprised if they were running out of space by the end. Couldn't make the later worlds as expansive or something. Assuming they were developed in order. I could kind of see that being a thing, honestly. Could be running out of space. Could have just been running out of time. Because it did need to be an N64 launch title. I feel like that's one of those things that like gets weirdly forgotten with Mario 64 is like, this is a launch title. This is the first N64 game alongside Pilot Wings. Which is crazy to me that it's still so like... Time, It's still crazy to me how relevant this game still is, because, like, if you think about launch titles for a lot of other systems, it's usually, like, random curiosities that just get completely forgotten. So it is a little crazy to me that, like, Super Mario 64 and Super Mario World are just, like, these eternally evergreen games that were also the first games for the console. Because, I mean, unless it's in some kind of compilation of, you know, people talking about launch titles, you don't really see a whole lot of things going back to, like, Orphan Scion of Sorcery or cameo Elements of Power or something. I mean, that was 2, not 3. It was kind of in the middle. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah. I've been through enough today with Tiny Huge Island. I'll take some easy stars. Squints. Two, three, what's an hour? Okay, I need to see that clock face, Mario. Also, I will let you know, considering the 3D models are, like, upscaled and stuff, the 3D clock hands and the clock face blend a lot better on a CRT on a Nintendo 64. Because the models and stuff are much more crunchy on original hardware. Which, like, honestly, the fact that the models have been upscaled, Mario 64, I feel like, survives that a lot better than most other games of its era. But I feel like that clock face is one of the few areas where it's noticeable that things have been upscaled. Well, an hour is 60 minutes. I know, that used to come on after TGIF. Okay, going over the cage. Ahem. We're going over the cage. Thank you. Yeah. Fuck, shit, balls, ow. Well, I really wanted to do this one part again, so I jumped back down. Definitely very on purpose. Okay. I'm sorry I'm not being as chatty as usual. I am actually kind of trying to lock into the platforming. Climbing the pole. This feels like the texture of this would be a little bit like a screw. Like the tool. No worries. Okay. Give me the cash. This freaking motherfucker with his dinner tray. Ugh. Some of these jumps are actually a little harder with everything stopped because, like, stuff like that actually, like, turns, and then there's that other platform back there that would, like, go up and down, so... Also, this is one of the most deceptive fucking things that has gotten me several times. There's a gap right there. And it does not look like it at all from this angle. And I have got more than once. Get a hand. Okay, actually, I needed things to be moving this time, so... Because, yeah, believe it or not, having everything stopped, there are certain stars that it'll just lock you out of. Because you need all of these gears, possibly made of metal, to be moving. Why would you do that? I will say, just like conceptually, because, you know, a lot of this is jumping into paintings and stuff. The idea of jumping into a clock face and it having, like, a world of gears and stuff, and it is really fun. And if nothing else, I'll give this stage credit. It inspired one of my favorite tracks in Mario Kart DS. All right, there's our hand. Remember, a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Why would you do that? Ah. Okay, we're good. We got this. Never talk about a bush again. I guess I'll just shave it for later. Also, Bird in the Hand is like... In the beginning of Neo, The World Ends With You, it's one of the, like, most common songs to play in, like, the early game battles. Because, like, as you go on through the game, more songs get introduced and stuff. It gets stuck in my head, but I can never remember the exact lyrics of, like, the hip-hop bridge guy. A hand in the bush is a bird. You know, fair enough. I can't argue with that. But the other day, I caught myself singing, like, Bird in the Hand, Cute Gaze in My Phone, Anime Ringtone, Unpaid College Loan, and I just realized that's just me and most of my friends. So turn around and go, don't wanna see you no more. It kind of gives me a little bit of Persona 3, Just, you know, having the singer who kind of has an accent with the hip-hop bridge. Neo The World Ends With You is amazing, you guys. I actually would love to stream it, but it's in a weird spot where, like, I feel like you can't get the full effect unless you've played the first game. But the first game's kind of unstreamable-ish. Do you have any idea how little that narrows things down? But the thing with World Ends With You 1 is there are 3 different versions of the game. Sort of. The thing is, the original release of The World Ends With You, which is also the best version of The World Ends With You, is so deeply entwined with the Nintendo DS, its features, and how it functions, that the only way to truly experience the original game in its totality is to play it on a Nintendo DS. And what I mean by it being unstreamable is, like, there's no way for me to give you guys that experience, because, like, I would have to get, like, a DS with a capture card and, like, have a hand cam showing me playing the DS, like, because, like, the stylus is so integrated, and the combat, once you put it on full manual control, like, once you learn it, is, like, one of those few things where when you have ADHD, it scratches your entire brain. I don't know if that makes any sense, but, like, because, like, LD has mentioned this before as well, of, like, you know, a lot of times you'll need, like, 3 or 4 things at once when you're neurodivergent. There are times when you have to do that to keep your brain from drifting away. But World Ends With You, just, like, between the music, controlling 2 characters simultaneously, and it's cool because it's also very lefty-friendly, because you can flip the D-pad and buttons. So if you need to use the stylus in your left hand, you can use the 4 face buttons as the D-pad. The brain, the whole brain, and nothing but the brain. No one here can relate to a video game-related thing satisfying their neurodivergent brain. Yeah. But, yeah, the other 2 versions of The World Ends With You, there's one that came out for iOS, and then, like, 8 years later for Android. It may not have been 8 years, but it was a long time. Like, it was far too long of a wait than it should have been. Completely removes controlling a second player, but it adds some extra post-game content, extra story content, new badges, and, you know, is in HD. But it's called The World Ends With You Solo Mix, because you don't control both characters at once. And most of the touchscreen stuff is done with your finger, because it's on a smartphone. And Solo Mix got an even more enhancer port to the Switch called Final Remix, which is not bad, but it is not really The World Ends With You gameplay-wise anymore. And it has, like, some really weird, like, design decisions in the way that you can't really play it with a normal controller. You either have to play it in handheld mode and use it with the touchscreen with no button usage, even for menus, like it's the iPad version, or if you're playing it on the TV, you use one single Joy-Con and use a gyro-controlled pointer. And it still doesn't have, like, the controlling 2 characters at once or anything like that either. It was about 2 years. It felt way longer, probably because I never had an iPhone. And the funny thing is I never ended up buying that either. I feel like in the 2010s, Square did not understand that the mobile market does not pay $20 or $30 for a game. Since Mario's taking a nap, let's all go ahead and stretch for a sec. Get yourself some sippy. I got my water tumbler right here. Stand it up for a little stretchy. Maybe it wasn't The World Ends With You, but I know there was one game that came out like really, really early on iPhones, and it actually did take like 5 years to get an Android port. I also distinctly remember that there was an iOS port of the first Lunar. And that was the only modern platform where you could buy Lunar for like... No shit, that was the only place you could buy Lunar besides the PSP until the remastered collection that came out a couple years ago. Spicy hot take. Okay, this one's going to ruffle some feathers, including my own feathers. Buying games digitally is actually fantastic. I think it's wonderful. It's convenient. There are so many incredible upsides. And this is coming from somebody who literally has, within 10 feet of her, 3 shelves full of physical games. And this is just in my immediate vicinity. There are many more shelves of physical video games in other places in this house. I love my physical media, but digital gaming is fantastic. Buying games digitally is wonderful. The problem is not digital games. The problem is capitalism. And the way that digital game releases are handled. Because outside of Steam, buying digital games right now is restrictive and miserable, and in a lot of ways more restrictive than it was for like the Wii, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360. Because right now, Steam and Xbox are the only platforms on which you can gift a digital game. Like the only way to give a digital game as a gift for Nintendo is if I like went to Walmart and bought like Pokemon Leaf Green on a little digital card that I could give to a friend to go redeem. But you know, with the Wii, you could gift people like Wii Shop and Virtual Console games and stuff like that. The problem's capitalism. We're talking about specifically, just in general, because the answer is yes. Both specifically and in general, really. But the reason why I say the problem is the capitalism is because every console turns their whole digital game thing into a walled garden. PlayStation's especially egregious because I think they did this like probably 5 or 6 years, like right before the PS5 came out. So it was probably like 7 or so years ago. PlayStation just stopped making purchasable codes available. So you can, like, if you go to Walmart right now, there'll be a wall of digital Switch games you can buy on the little cards you take to the register. And there'll be a wall of Xbox digital games you can buy on little cards you can take to the register. With PlayStation, it'll only just be the PlayStation Money gift cards. Because Sony does not allow codes for PlayStation games to be sold individually anymore, which sucks because I got an amazing deal not too long ago because Humble actually had, this is going like way back, this is probably like 2017 or 18, but they had like this bundle of PlayStation 3, 4, and Vita, where I got like, and it was a Sega Namco bundle, so I got like the PS3 version of Sonic Generations, Dead Rising for PS4, Alien Isolation for PS4, like Super Monkey Ball Banana Splits for Vita, Dust Force for Vita, and it was so cool because like I didn't really have a usable gaming PC at the time, and I always thought Humble was cool, but I could never buy anything because, you know, I didn't have a workable PC to play it on. So I thought it was so cool I could get a bunch of PlayStation games. And the thing is, like I said, there's the walled garden issue on top of the fact that, like, while I tend to hold on to video games forever, there are a lot of people who will finish a game, they'll give it away to a friend, they'll sell it, and you can't do that with a digital game. You can uninstall it, sure, but, like, let's say I decided to download, I don't know, fucking Spanky's Quest or some shit, and it didn't vibe with me. I couldn't just give it as a gift to one of my friends. I'm just stuck with it forever. And I know they have return policies, but dude, it took over 15 years of digital games being widely available in the mass market for there even to be refunds. And with PlayStation, you can't even refund it if you've booted the game once. You can only refund it if you've, like, bought it on accident or something. Like, I don't know, maybe you accidentally bought the PS5 edition when you only have a PS4, I guess is the use case it's a situation for. Or something in that vein. I don't know, your cat jumped up on your DualSense and continually slapped the confirm button until you purchased something. Actually, that does remind me of that one thing where somebody's fish committed eShop fraud by accident. But that's completely off topic. I'm tangenting. But yeah, that's my thing, is like, if digital games were handled better and you had the same consumer rights to your digital purchases as your physical ones, I feel like there would be a lot less pushback, because I think that physical and digital games can find a balance where they live together in harmony, because the big problem with games being physical only, as somebody who, was gaming since, like I said, Super Nintendo Genesis, if there was a low print run of a game and you couldn't find it, you just can't have it. You just can't play that game. And, like, you can hope they print more, you can hope you find it used, you can hope somebody would be willing to trade games with you or something, but you just couldn't get it. But that's not an issue if a game's available digitally. But the thing is, like, games that are made available digitally, we need some kind of guarantee that they're not just going to be yanked down with no warning. That, these games can be made available in perpetuity. And a lot of companies aren't willing to do that. And they don't have an incentive to do that, because unless you're buying things on PC, there's no competition for the digital storefront except physical games. Because, like, as much as people hate on game key cards, and in a lot of cases justifiably so, I guess you get a mini hot take in this hot take. I don't think game key cards are this all-consuming evil that they have a reputation for being. They're just not being used for their intended purpose. The intended purpose of game key cards was for a game like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth that are way too big for a key card, or for a regular game card, or for games like Star Wars Outlaws that require the internal storage to be able to function and everything. But the thing is, once you use a game key card and get a game downloaded, it functions just like a regular physical cartridge. And you own the game still. And, like, let's say I buy Spanky's Quest on a game key card and I don't like it, I can give that physical game key card to my friend. They can download it. So they still get the game, so you still get the advantage of a physical game. The problem is, like, the game key cards, instead of being used for games that would necessitate things like my aforementioned examples, instead they've just been used as a cop-out for shareholders to be able to put a game on the shelf without having to pay up the money for a regular physical version. Basically, it turned into a penny pinching measure, because, like, a game like Bravely Default that's 11 gigabytes should not have been on a game key card. But yeah, that's I guess the overall consensus is, like, because I did mention physical and digital living in harmony and how they could benefit one another. And the advantage to that is if most sales are going to be digital, which they are now, then physical games can go back to what they once were, which is being a premium experience. And that's even been happening a little bit more. Like all of Marvelous's game releases since like at least the Switch 1 have all had instruction manuals. Like I have Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, and it has a full classic style instruction manual included. So little by little, like we're getting instruction manuals back, we're getting bonus stuff back, like the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, for example, and the Capcom Fighting Collection Volume 2 both came with little mini comics. And I've also noticed that weird thing at the end of like the PS3 era and stuff that game cases were doing, where they would have like a big hole behind the spindle, which is like the worst place you would want a plastic saving hole. That went away. So, God, I've talked so long that the game went to sleep mode. Okay, Seventh, you have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for dropping by. Okay, I need to actually play some Mario 64 in this Mario 64 stream. Rain got me big time yapping. Okay, stomp on the thwomp. I'm also getting to the section of Mario 64 where I don't quite remember the missions as much as I do in like the early game levels. But yeah, like that, and one of the other super huge benefits of digital games is it drastically lowers the barrier of entry for a lot of people to just get weird and bizarre and interesting games out there. I mean, hell, I do love the fact that two of the biggest games from the last 2 years have been 2D games that were $20. Oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, you fucking don't. Where's this thwomp I'm stomping? Ah, Naruhodo. I missed. Find it funny that Silksong quite literally crashed Steam. I know, it's so good. It's actually getting a physical. So there was a gap between that platform and the wall. It's got a physical coming out later this year. And the coolest thing is, like, unfortunately, it doesn't seem to have a PS4 physical, but the Xbox physical is, God fucking damn it. I'm getting squishied. The Xbox physical is both Xbox One and Series X, and hey, there's actually an Xbox physical. And the Switch physical seems to be a hybrid Switch 1, Switch 2 cart, but it is not a game key card. Everything's on the cartridge. I hope its physical appointment goes well. So honestly, I kind of want to get Silksong. Like, part of me wants to get it on Switch because I love the Switch and I love just having a giant shelf of physical Switch games. But another part of me wants to get it on Xbox because, holy hell, there are so few games getting physical Xbox releases anymore. Bumping and grinding that pole. Speaking of, I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so I should probably take off soonish. I gotcha. I feel a little bad spending a whole hour on that 100 coin star. Shit, I feel like I probably can't do this one without... Yeah. Because honestly, I think I am losing my ability to awake also. I kind of forgot I started at 8 tonight and not 7. Ack! Because I am definitely noticing that I am kind of losing my ability to stay focused. How do awake? That is the question. Also, I saw Pikuniku 2, and a friend of mine was asking about it, and the first game is $1.99 on the eShop right now. It looks super adorable. Also, Kingdom Hearts 3, I was playing the demo, and it runs amazing on Switch 2. It looks pretty much exactly like it does on, like, Xbox One X, which is, like, my most powerful point of comparison. Because I have my PS4 is a base PS4 Slim, and I have the Xbox One X, and it pretty much looks and runs exactly like those. Yeah, I'm not going to do any more Mario 64 tonight, you guys. Oh, wait, shit. I didn't exit out of the game to the menu. I should double check to make sure it's saved. But I'm not going to play any more Mario 64. I am just losing my ability to concentrate. Pikuniku, Game of the Blorbos. Yeah, it wasn't really on my radar, but like I said, a friend brought it up, and I went and looked it up because we were both curious. Because there was a really funny meme about it. And well, okay, it wasn't like a funny meme, but it was one where it had the main character dancing like a heckin' cutie-saurus. Only 13 stars off. It would take like 4 minutes. Maddie, I literally just spent an hour doing one 100 coin star, and I am significantly more tired now than I was then. Don't you pull out that cutie little cute face at me, you cutie. Okay, but it did save properly. This menu is so jarring because it just not look like the menu for a Mario collection. The EPs must do a sleepies. That's true. Oh yeah, damn it! I didn't even think about it, but I actually did all the Donkey Kong challenges for the retro ones. I don't actually own DK Bonanza, but yeah, I guess I can brag a little bit. But I did all the retro DK challenges. Because I actually grew up with the original Donkey Kong Country trilogy on Super Nintendo, and I have 100%ed them many times. Though some of the stuff for the NES games was actually like caught me off guard a little bit, but I still managed to pull it off. None of the challenges are like super intricate or crazy. A lot of them are just like learning to adapt to the game's mechanics and stuff. But it was still a lot of fun. I don't know why that one DK with that ooh face on his tongue. Yeah, of course, I did go ahead and plop down the $10 to upgrade my Xenoblade 1 to the Definitive Edition. And I will say, playing Xenoblade 1 in 60 frames per second made me feel like I was emulating it. Well, actually, Rain, if you want to wait a couple minutes, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. because I am also tired and I am getting a bit hungry. Yeah, real quick, let's see if there is anybody live I can go bother. Dooby 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 doo don't boppy biddy boppy lop. Arc. Nah, I don't think so. I think that I'm just gonna call it. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming by and hanging out with me and playing some Mario 64. Hopefully, maybe next time I stream Mario 64, we can actually finish the game. Part of me was wanting to do it tonight, but after spending a whole hour on just one star, But once again, guys, thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye bye. Game over. Yeah.